Hello, I'm Sudarshana Starshine Star. How are all of you doing? It's a beautiful Tuesday. It's September 3rd. Can you believe it? I can't believe it's September already. And it's still 2024. I'm going to begin this clip like I begin all of my clips with the 3 opening prayers that are in Sanskrit and Telugu. They're short, and it's to bless and protect, uplift, and inspire you, me, and this clip. They're the Guru Mantra, the Ganesha Mantra, and the Gayatri Mantra. Om, Om, Om. Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwaraha, Guru Sakshat Parabrahmam, Tasmahi Sri Guruve Namaha. Om Suklam Bharataram Vishnum, Sishivarnam Chatubhujam, Prasanavaranam Dhyaye Sarva Vigno Prashantaye. Om Bhur Suvah Tatsavitur Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Naha Prachodayat. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. All right, today I have an incredibly hot off the presses audio clip to share with all of you. I am on, I have a YouTube channel called It's the Dazzling of the Light, or you can just go to YouTube and type in at Sudarshana Starshine Star to access well over 100 of my clips there. It's pretty good. I think you'll enjoy checking it out. And I'm also on TikTok. My username is at StarshineStar909. The name of my channel is Mahakali Yeshua 9. So if you like this content, I really appreciate you supporting me. It really helps the algorithm since I'm pretty shadow banned, and I really appreciate your help in liking, sharing, subscribing, hit the notification bell, or if you're on TikTok, hearting it, or if you're looking at it on my other social medias, whether it's Instagram or X, just liking it and hearting it. It's so super great. Okay, so what I want to share today is, it's pretty amazing that this huge, in the US, this huge story that we've had around about migrant Venezuelan gangs taking over an apartment complex in Aurora, Colorado, and subsequently the last few days also a clip showing what looked like to be just a huge amount of the Hell's Angels, you know, in case people that are listening to this don't know what that is, the motorcycle club. It's pretty tough, showing tons of them. It looked like it was being purported that they were on their way to Aurora, Colorado to take care of these supposed Venezuelan gang members that had taken over this whole huge apartment complex. And we'd seen videos of young, they said they were gang members holding like really serious artillery and knocking on doors. There were some clips like that pretty much, you know, so many people have seen already. And we were told that was the Venezuelan gang members. They kicked out management and were terrorizing all the tenants of this large apartment complex and taking all the rent money from them and going in with guns into their apartments and stuff like that. So I'm going to tell you the real skinny. I'm going to tell you the real truth now. It's pretty much a surprise. But then again, there's so much happening these days, right? This is from X. This is from Polly St. George, who will never promote crypto or NFTs. That's her name. At Fringe Views on X. And I've really looked at her stuff for years. She's Canadian. Usually her tag would be Amazing Polly. She's one of the great independent journalists, researchers. I don't always agree with what she says, though. So just because I post something that I find to be valid and I check up on it doesn't mean that I just 100% agree with everything that poster might be putting out there. So I just want to be clear about that, because I do disagree with some things Polly is very skeptical about, or she has like a sour look on things. But this story is fire, as they say. So once again, like I said, this is from X, and Polly posted this on September 2nd, September 2nd, 2024 at 8:15 a.m. All of the buildings which have been, quote, taken over by Venezuelan gangs, end quote, are under the same management company. Do the math. Now to check whether or not anything's happening with this guy's buildings in New York City. And at 8:01 a.m., September 2nd, Polly posted, guys, about the Venezuelan gangs, ... Property management company was about to face a jury trial for serious code violations at the Aurora, Colorado apartment complex. Zev, and that's spelled Z-E-V, Baumgarten, that's spelled B-A-U-M-G-A-R-T-N, bought the property 4 years ago. He's normally a Brooklyn, New York slumlord. And I also want to say, because, excuse me, you can't see the photos here, but Polly also tracked down, I'll read you his LinkedIn profile in a little bit, but the photo of Zem Baumgarten and some family members, he's in Crown Heights in Brooklyn in this photo, Orthodox, or what we could say Hasidic Jew. But as we know, because of his, which I'll read about his connections, then you'll know that he's not really, he's what we call a fake Jew, not really practicing Hebrew. He's with a satanic organization. If you don't know what the Khazarian Mafia is, I suggest that you go to my YouTube channel. I have a series called The Controllers, and to find out about the Khazarians, where they came from, where they originally came from, what happened to them in the 1700s, and they were kicked out of Khazaria, which was a part of Russia. Now it's modern-day Ukraine. You'll find out what's going on with them. I don't have time on this clip to do that, but this Zev Baumgarten has a $70 million New York real estate property portfolio under his management company, but somehow in Colorado he's like a slumlord. He has a lot of properties. So let me read more about this situation for you. Now, this was from a news periodical called Westward, and it seems like it's out of Colorado. And it says, Aurora judge rules gang-fearing, quote, slumlord, end quote, can wait until February to resolve charges away from jury. And then in parentheses, Zev Baumgarten, who claimed Venezuelan gangs took over his property, can now resolve outstanding code charges on February 14th. That was written by Benito L. Kelty, K-E-L-T-Y, on August 30th, 2024. It says, Aurora has been trying to resolve charges against Zev Baumgarten since 2020. And that was courtesy of the city of Aurora, and a picture of this broken-in glass windowed apartment in the building was shown by the city of Aurora. An Aurora judge has delayed the trial of Zev Baumgarten, the owner of a controversial apartment complex supposedly taken over by Venezuelan gangs, and will give him until February 14th to resolve dozens of charges stemming from outstanding code violations, according to court documents. According to records from the Aurora Police Department, Baumgarten is the owner of an apartment complex at 1568 Nome Street, and that's spelled N-O-M-E, at Fitzsimmons Place, that was shut down by the city on August 13th, 2024, for outstanding code violations dating back to 2020, including rat infestations, backed up sewage, and piles up of trash. Hundreds of residents were evicted in the process. Baumgarten was scheduled for a jury trial in Aurora Municipal Court on August 27th, 2024, to resolve 81 charges, and then had a second date on September 5th to deal with 24 charges he faced related to unlawful vehicles. From the same news article, but I'm skipping over a big chunk. The claims that Tren de Aragua, that Venezuelan gang, had taken over the apartment complex have put Aurora in the national spotlight, with online videos supposedly proving the charge. However, both Denver and Aurora officials, including the mayors of both cities and Governor Jared Polis, flatly dispute the claims. Now let me go to, excuse me, let me go someplace else here. All right, now, here's from the same article. CBZ Management, a company registered to Baumgarten, is the property manager for Fitzsimmons Place, along with 10 other properties across New York and Colorado, according to its website. 4 CBZ management properties in Aurora have outstanding code violations, Aurora says, and residents from its properties in other parts of the metro area have complained about neglect as well. Note, on August 13th, that same day as the mass eviction from the Nome Street complex, an Aurora municipal court judge granted an unopposed motion to vacate Baumgarten's jury trial, which pushed both court dates to a pre-trial conference on February 14th, according to court documents. Now, Polly posted on September 2nd at 10:14 a.m. on X, considering Jewish charities are also funneling in the migrants through HIS, and Chabad is a very culty connected organization, and Jewish lightning is too obvious, and this serves multiple narratives, and there's a history of using real estate to subvert nations, ... It changes it. Now she's referring to Chabad Lubavitch, which is a very, on the surface of it, you think it's just a very Orthodox Jewish organization, but it's satanic and it's very bad news, and that's what that's about. Rhett Micheletti on X at Rhett Micheletti on September 3rd at 4:29 a.m. posted, "You are literally the only person I know who sees the Zionist connection to the migrant agenda. Kudos to you. Keep up the great investigative work." And then Polly replied on September 3rd at 4:43 a.m. Michael Yon, that's spelled Y-O-N, Michael Yon also tried to bring attention to it while in Panama. HIS, which is Hebrew Immigrant Aid Society, is very active in getting people across the border. In spite of him being on, quote, all the shows, end quote, I didn't see any of them focus on it. And then Polly also posted on September 3rd at 1:28 p.m. Fabricatore is a central character in the hyped-up Venezuelan gang apartment complex story in Colorado. He is also a member of the Senior Executive Service. He seems to work with Aurora Counselor at Large Danielle Jurinsky, who is the one pushing the narrative into the mainstream. And then there's a note about who he is. John Fabricatore is an acting field office director at Denver, Colorado ICE. And for those of you who don't know what ICE is, that's the United States Immigration and Customs Enforcement Agency. Note from James Arcangeli at Arcangeli James on X. He posted, Fabricatore in Italian means to make up, invent, or to fabricate a story. Isn't that amazing? Okay, and then there's a KC, spelled K-A-C-E-E, Allen, on X at KC Allen, and she posted on September 3rd at 5:44 a.m. Very weird this is all happening the same time our government is challenging Venezuela's elections. And then Polly responded to her, yes, it is, isn't it? And I want to mention that for those, because there was an upside down narrative, and now, it's coming more into the light. I posted about it. Was it 2 weeks ago? I can't remember time anymore, but Nicolas Maduro, Venezuela's president, that our corrupt government, unfortunately when I make these posts and I have to read about the United States, for people that are not in the United States, and even many who are, don't understand that we have two United States. We have one that's still acting as the corrupt corporation that took over our country in 1871. And then we have the real constitutional republic, which was restored a few years back, but a lot of people don't know that. So we have the white hats, or the good guys that are fighting for restoration of our constitutional republic, and we have what are called the black hats, which are the You can call them by many names: Deep State, Khazaria Mafia, Illuminati, uh, Freemasons, the Freemasonic. They're Satanists. They're all Satanists, and they have a very they despise humans. They call us useless eaters, chattel, goyim. They have a big eugenist agenda against us to reduce the world population from 7.8 billion to only 500 million. And there's a lot to that story. Once again, I suggest you go to my controller series on YouTube to hear more about that. But anyway, with Venezuela, with Nicolas Maduro, he right now is, if you pay attention to what's seemingly going on in the news, our corrupt administration, because there's no Joe Biden, I just call it JoJo, but whatever the corrupt administration that was allowed some reign for these past almost 4 years to show and red pill the American people and the world what this satanic agenda really was all about. We had to have a little piece of it. We had to have a little taste of it, also to wake all of us up so we would never let this happen again. And you have to show people. You can't just tell them. So we all had to experience a kind of hell, even though it was only a tiny percentage of what really would have gone down if, for example, Hillary Clinton had been made president. Anyway, so what was I saying? Oh yeah, so right now our corrupt administration that's still trying to hold on to its last dregs is pushing this with our corrupt mainstream media, pushing this narrative that Nicolas Maduro is the super bad guy and he cheated to get his election, as if they have any mouth to talk about cheating in elections. It's beyond ridiculous and hypocritical. It's beyond the pale, really. But why they're doing that, why the evils and the controller, I call them the controllers and their minions, even though most of all of the big evils have been taken out, there's still some minions that need to be taken out. They're so concerned because it's the exploitation of all that filthy lucre, all the money, the oil money from Venezuela that they're getting cut off from, because Nicolas Maduro joined Venezuela to the BRICS. And BRICS is Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. Plus, it's plus now because it's expanded to many nations. Many countries have joined on to BRICS. And the whole purpose of BRICS was to have each country go back to a precious metal, that means gold, silver, rainbow currency backed currency of their own currency in their own country, and become sovereign again and get off the evil satanic US petroleum dollar that was implemented since the 70s to subvert and crush what we call third world countries in a very evil way. So Maduro joined Venezuela to BRICS, and that's all you really need to know. You can have doubts and say, well, what did he do before, whatever. It's another long story about how he went to a meeting with other leaders of countries and basically was informed that they would all go along with this white hat agenda of cleaning up not only America but this earth realm, or they would be punished for their crimes. So it doesn't matter what you think of Maduro from the past, the fact that he's on board and he joined Venezuela with BRICS. And it's just kind of interesting that this whole Aurora, Colorado story just comes about saying, oh, it's a Venezuelan gang. It's just really interesting. But so this, Zev Baumgarten, a very wealthy, part of a very wealthy Khazarian mafia, Chabad, Lubavitch, fake Jew, satanic group out of Crown Heights, Brooklyn, New York, has huge luxury properties in New York City, but all these slums in Colorado. It's pretty crazy. And it's facing 81 charges on the first court hearing and more on the September supposed court hearing. Baumgarten would have had to pay out a fortune for all these code violations and everything else. And as Polly said, Jewish lightning is too obvious, meaning you couldn't be so handy in this case and burn down all the buildings and claim arson and collect on the insurance on it to cover up, all the things. So obviously Baumgarten has connections that and helped to spread this myth that it was the Venezuelan gangs taking over this Aurora, Colorado complex, and not the fact that it was just a ploy to buy time and to also put the blame and say, oh, Your Honor, look at me, I didn't do all these terrible code violations, is because Venezuelan gangs took over my properties. Okay, I think you get the picture. So, also, if you look on LinkedIn, under Zev Baumgarten, he's listed as a Chabad Lubavitch of the Hamptons, East Hampton, New York, United States. Rabbi, Chabad Lubavitch of the Hamptons. Zev Baumgarten, Rabbi Development Director, Chabad of the Hamptons. Chabad Lubavitch of the Hamptons. It couldn't be any more clear. Hello. Okay, and then he has, this was posted in The Real Deal, which is like a real estate periodical it was posted, a news article posted by Greg Isaacson on October 18th in 2019, and it's giving all the news about a downtown Brooklyn luxury high-rise at 237 Duffield Street that's getting a $52 million refinancing from Freddie Mac, and it was the whole property was developed by CBZ Management, headed by Daniel Ghazal and Shamar Yahoo, no, I'm mispronouncing that, Baumgarten. The Real Deal reported last year, and that's the same family as Zev Baumgarten. Okay, so then I want to also say, let's see. Oh, yeah. Now I want to go to, excuse me for a second, I'm looking for this. Okay, here's the ending of this story. Bonnie at Secret of Maine on X posted on September 2nd at 10 a.m. For those Trump supporters who do not watch Trump rallies but do go off on him when the wind shifts to the negative, he called what happened in Aurora a skit, quote end quote, at his rally in Potterville, Michigan. No one was paying attention. He tells you what's going on. It's up to you whether you listen. That's what Bonnie said. And then, a skit. And then there's the question of the supposed Hells Angels riding to Aurora, Colorado. Well, that was debunked. This video does not show Hells Angels riding to Aurora, Colorado to fight Venezuelan gang members. They are Brazilian bikers being escorted by the Sao Paulo State Highway Police. This video was posted on July 7th, weeks before the Aurora gang story. And you can check that out at https www.techcrime/crime/hells-angels-aurora-fight-gangs/. You can see that for yourself. And that's the end of that story. I think it's a pretty good one. Like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell. People need to know this. I mean, whenever I find out real information that goes deeper than something that I thought was true, I'll always do my best to bring it to you guys, because I prefer the truth over anything else, the real, raw truth. Okay, I'm going to end this with the closing prayer. It's in Sanskrit and Telugu, and what I'm saying is, God bless all beings in all worlds. Om Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Yes, peace, peace, peace. Big love and hugs to you and yours. I'm sending that to all of you in these rocking and rolling, roller coastering times. Just hang in there, and God bless you and yours. I will see you when I see you, and bye-bye for now.